Hi, this is Brandon from Watches on You. Today we're taking a look at the Breitling Premier Chronograph 42 Bentley Mulliner Limited Edition. And first I want to mention that we're here at Continental Diamond in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, who have provided us this piece for the purposes of this review. They're an authorized retailer of Breitling and many other premium watch brands. Additionally, they have a large jewelry selection and pre-owned watch selection. So I'll be dropping a link in the description so you guys can check them out. Now, I'd also like to remind you about the new watch that I created. This is the Hoagland & Sons Mark II chronograph. Many of you are familiar with the Hoagland & Sons Mark I chronograph, which has a mecha quartz chronograph movement. This has a column wheel mechanical chronograph movement. It's been a real joy to be able to share my designs with the world, and I've gotten some great feedback on both of my models. I'll also be dropping a link in the description to this watch. So now moving on to the Breitling. Now, this watch is one of the many limited editions of, I should say special editions of the Premier Chronograph. And in my opinion, all their special editions have been very tasteful with this model. In the past, some of the Bentley models were very kind of gaudy and had a lot of like Bentley branding on the watch. The only two places where it's even apparent that this is a special edition, besides the overall appearance, is on the side you have a Bentley label, and then on the back it says Mulliner on the case back. But it's important to note that it's not actually on the crystal on the case back, so you can get the full view of the movement. On some of their previous limited editions, and many brands do this as well, they'll put like a label on the crystal, and I don't think that looks good at all, and you can't really see that beautiful movement. So it's kind of a shame when they do that. But obviously this is done in a much more tasteful fashion. I also love the design language they used. It really does look like an old chronograph. It has this nice brush dial. The numerals are in kind of a vintage sort of font. And I love the tachymeter with that contrasting blue to the rest of the dial. Also, the movement in this piece is absolutely fantastic. It's the Breitling B01 movement. I'm a big fan. It's got 70 hours of power reserve. It's awesome. I think that two complaints that people may have with this watch is that it is too large. It's 42 millimeters. If you have a really small wrist, that might be a problem, but for most people it won't be. Personally, I like watches around 40 millimeters, hence the reason I made my watches that I designed 40 millimeters. However, given that watches are tending to get larger, it's not that big of a deal. It's not too large. It's totally understandable, especially for a chronograph. But that could be a concern for some people. I'll try it on the wrist just so you guys can see how it looks. But overall, that's just something to note. So I'll demonstrate the chronograph here. So when you can start the chronograph by pushing the top chronograph pusher, and then you can stop it using the top pusher as well, and reset using the bottom. The chronograph feels very nice. I would describe it as kind of hard to push the buttons, but it's slightly more smooth than on the Valjoux 7750 movements that Breitling has used in the past and many other brands use. So that's something to note. I'll try the watch on the wrist now. And it comes on this nice alligator strap that is, I assume it's faux alligator, probably due to legal reasons and environmental reasons. But that is something to check out. So the watch is 42 millimeters, as I was saying. I have about a 6.5 inch wrist in circumference, and I think it looks very nice. It is a tad on the thick side, understandable for a chronograph, but it is 13.6 millimeters thick. Overall, this represents a excellent option in the chronograph market. It's definitely on the higher end side. It's a fairly expensive watch. Again, I'll be dropping a link in the description to this watch as well as Continental Diamond and my watch. So thank you for watching this video. Remember to like, subscribe, and share.